Rather, the worry in Britain is about the social stigma, moral condemnation and ostracism that follows, says Simon Cotty of the University of Kent, who has written a book on the subject.
Stigma and ostracism refer to social rejection, and also to certain qualities that people may have which cause them to be rejected socially, and even to be rejected by themselves in some cases. Originally, stigma referred to an injury. Originally, the injury was the injury that Christ had on his hands and his feet, and there were these religious devotees of Christ who would purposefully injure their hands and feet and then keep the wounds open in order to emulate or copy Christ. Or if when the wounds healed, they would have scars left over. So these were also supposed to emulate or copy Christ. Now, from that came the idea of something that was stuck on a person that the person could not free themselves of, that became a point of rejection socially, which could also lead to ostracism, which is basically getting kicked out of a group of people, where no longer can the person associate with these people that they were previously associated with. Now, in the olden days, this was a very, just a real bad thing to happen, because without the association of other people, people were very likely to die. An outlaw, for example, is someone that people cannot help, and that was originally the actual punishment that people get. They didn't even have to go to prison. They just lost the right of associating with the group. So anyway, if we carry this forward to modern life, a stigma can be an injury of some type. For example, where people have a big scar, or maybe they're crippled or something, where people will look down on them because of that. It could also be because they're poor. And somebody say, well, I don't have to, be nice to you because you're poor. And it can even carry forward to having a criminal record, or even working for certain companies. You worked for who? We don't even know who those people are. So if somebody didn't work for a great company, or maybe they didn't go to such a great university, that becomes a stigma. Or if somebody's gay, similarly, it's also a stigma. Or a transsexual, same thing. They feel they can't really change that condition very much, and it becomes very obvious and apparent to people that look at them. And as a result, these people suffer ostracism, which means they're not invited to, or not allowed to participate in the larger social group. So a stigma is a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstances, quality, or person. Is example, if someone has a criminal record, that can be a stigma, because when they apply for employment, they know that this person went to jail. So they naturally may look down on this person and not consider them to be fully worthy of having a good life or having a good job. And ostracism means exclusion from a society or from a group. So a person can be ostracized. For example, again, if somebody gets a criminal record, they may be ostracized from their previous social groups because people don't want to associate with criminals. Or if someone gets a bad reputation, or they get in the news for something that's sort of very sordid, then their previous friends may not want to associate with them anymore. And they may have difficulties making new associations, because people will look at, see what they did or what was said about them, and not want to be associated with that.
But the ensuing political rumpus led to Indian states being allowed to set tougher rules on their turf.
A rumpus is a noisy disturbance or commotion or controversy of some type, oftentimes a fight, but it can also be just people sort of playing around in a rambunctious manner. Typically, rumpus is used when describing children playing in a room making a lot of noise. And then that idea gets carried further in an adult situation, and typically it's used to describe some argument or fight that people are having in politics or in business where the participants are acting like children. And oftentimes people have a room in their house in the basement. They call it the rumpus room. And this is a room where the children can feel free to act up, play games, make a lot of noise, throw things around, have fun in a healthy but noisy way. Most often in politics, if somebody says something and then everybody gets upset, they say he caused a rumpus. A rumpus can cover a wide range of activities, but usually it just means that the activity was noisy and also involved some sort of arguing back and forth. So rumpus covers a fairly wide range of activities, from boisterous playing or loud activity to an argument or a disagreement or a fight. But usually the idea is that it involves noise, and it also involves people sort of kind of like tossing each other around in some metaphorical or even physical manner. The mayor caused a real rumpus when he decided to close down the charity ward at the city hospital and have people go to the private hospitals instead. ESL-fullsteamahead.com